Imagine holding a book that has the power to calm your mind, soothe your soul, and guide you through life's most challenging moments. A book that feels like a trusted friend, always ready to offer wisdom and perspective. For me, that book is the Dhammapada. This ancient Buddhist text is more than just scripture. It is a timeless guide to self-discovery, inner peace, and spiritual growth. Whether you're struggling with stress, seeking purpose, or simply curious about Buddhist teachings, the Dhammapada has something profound to offer. As a Buddhist monk, I've turned to this book countless times during moments of doubt and difficulty. Each verse feels like a treasure, revealing insights that resonate deeply with both the modern and ancient worlds. In this expanded exploration, I'll share the profound wisdom of the Dhammapada, delve into its historical significance, and illustrate how its teachings can transform your life. Together, we'll uncover not only its verses, but also the universal truths they convey, illustrated with real-life examples, practical applications, and the depth of Buddhist philosophy. Let's embark on this journey to discover why this book continues to inspire millions across the globe. Unlike the central scriptures of other religions, Buddhism does not have a singular text that defines its faith. The Bible serves Christians, the Quran serves Muslims, and the Bhagavad Gita guides Hindus. For Buddhists, however, there is an array of texts, each offering a unique perspective on the teachings of the Buddha. Among these, the Dhammapada stands out as a concise and practical collection of 423 verses, divided into 26 chapters, each addressing different aspects of life. The name Dhammapada translates to the path of Dharma, or the way of truth. Its verses are a treasure trove of practical wisdom, addressing universal themes such as happiness, anger, self-control, and the nature of reality. More than just a book, the Dhammapada is a mirror that reflects our struggles and aspirations, encouraging us to conquer our inner conflicts and embrace a path of mindfulness and compassion. The Dhammapada is part of the Khuddaka Nikaya, a collection of shorter texts within the Pali Canon. It is believed to have been compiled around the 3rd century BCE, based on teachings attributed directly to the Buddha. The verses were likely preserved through oral tradition before being committed to writing in Sri Lanka. Its simplicity and universality have ensured its survival through centuries, making it one of the most widely read and respected Buddhist texts. One of the most powerful teachings in the Dhammapada is the emphasis on self-mastery. As the Buddha says in verse 103, "Though one may conquer 1,000 times 1,000 men in battle, yet he indeed is the noblest victor who conquers himself." This verse highlights the idea that the greatest battle we face is within ourselves. It's not about external conquests, but about taming our desires, fears, and impulses. In today's world, where distractions and temptations are everywhere, this teaching feels especially relevant. Consider the story of Sarah, a corporate executive overwhelmed by stress and competition. After discovering mindfulness and reading the Dhammapada, she began to focus on self-awareness rather than external validation. By conquering her inner turmoil, she not only improved her mental health, but also became a more compassionate leader. In verse 290, the Buddha offers profound insight into the nature of happiness. If, by renouncing a lesser happiness, one may realize a greater happiness, let the wise man renounce the lesser, having regard for the greater. This verse reminds us that temporary pleasures often distract us from achieving lasting contentment. In a culture that prioritizes instant gratification, The Buddha's advice to prioritize long-term well-being feels more important than ever. Imagine you're trying to save money for a meaningful travel experience, but daily indulgences in coffee shop visits eat into your savings. Renouncing these smaller pleasures for the greater joy of travel mirrors the wisdom of this verse. The Dhammapada isn't just a book to read. It's a companion to live by. Here are a few verses that can serve as daily reminders. Verse 166. Let one not neglect one's own welfare for the sake of another. However great, clearly understand one's own welfare and be intent upon the good. This verse teaches us the importance of self-care. By prioritizing our well-being, we can better serve others. Verse 183. Avoid all evil, cultivate the good, and cleanse your mind. This is the teaching of the Buddhas. A simple yet profound guideline for living a virtuous life. Incorporating the Dhammapada into daily meditation can deepen its impact. Choose a verse and reflect on its meaning. For example, when practicing mindfulness, focus on verse 25. The wise ones, ever meditative and steadfastly persevering, alone experience nibbana, the incomparable freedom from bondage. One of the central teachings of the Dhammapada is the art of letting go. Whether it's material possessions, toxic relationships, or harmful habits, letting go allows us to create space for growth and happiness. Verse 290. Revisited. The wisdom of renouncing lesser pleasures for greater happiness resonates with the modern concept of minimalism. By decluttering our lives, both physically and emotionally, we align with the Buddha's teachings on simplicity and contentment. Mark, a tech entrepreneur, decided to downsize his life after reading the Dhammapada. He let go of unnecessary possessions and embraced a lifestyle focused on mindfulness and sustainability. This transformation not only brought him peace but also deepened his spiritual practice. In the early days of Buddhism, monks and nuns would leave behind their worldly possessions to live a life of simplicity and meditation. This act of renunciation symbolized a commitment to spiritual growth and freedom from attachment. Even today, this principle remains a cornerstone of monastic life and a profound lesson for lay practitioners. Letting go doesn't have to mean becoming a monk. It can involve small steps, such as digital decluttering. Spend a weekend organizing your digital life. Delete unnecessary files. Unsubscribe from distracting emails, and limit screen time. Emotional release. Practice forgiveness and let go of grudges. Holding on to resentment only harms your inner peace. Simplifying finances. Focus on needs rather than wants. By adopting mindful spending habits, you can reduce stress and increase contentment. These steps align with the Buddha's teachings, making room for clarity, purpose, and happiness. The Dhammapada emphasizes the transformative power of compassion. In verse 223, the Buddha says, "Conquer anger with love, evil with good, meanness with generosity, and lies with truth." This verse challenges us to respond to negativity with positivity, breaking the cycle of suffering and conflict. During a community conflict, a group of neighbors turned to this teaching to resolve their differences. By focusing on empathy and mutual understanding, they transformed hostility into harmony, demonstrating the practical power of the Buddha's words. Compassion isn't limited to individual interactions. It can extend to social and global issues. For example, environmental stewardship. Caring for the planet is a form of compassion for future generations. Practices like recycling and supporting sustainable initiatives reflect the spirit of the Dhammapada. Social justice. Standing up for the oppressed or marginalized embodies the Buddha's teachings on kindness and equality. Volunteering or advocating for fair policies can be acts of profound compassion. Throughout history, Buddhist leaders have embodied this teaching. Emperor Ashoka, a ruler in ancient India, embraced Buddhism after witnessing the horrors of war. He dedicated his reign to promoting nonviolence, social welfare, and ethical governance, becoming a beacon of compassionate leadership. Compassion isn't an innate quality. It's a skill that can be cultivated. Here are some ways to nurture it. Loving kindness meditation. Spend time each day focusing on sending positive thoughts to yourself and others. This practice strengthens empathy and reduces anger. Active listening. When engaging with others, listen without judgment or interruption. This fosters understanding and connection. Random acts of kindness. Small gestures, like helping a stranger or offering a compliment, can create ripples of positivity. The Dhammapada is more than just a book. It is a lifelong companion on the journey to self-discovery and spiritual awakening. Its verses inspire us to reflect, grow, and embrace a path of mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. If you've never read the Dhammapada, I encourage you to begin today. Whether you're seeking answers to life's challenges or simply looking for inspiration, this ancient text has something profound to offer. Let it guide you, as it has guided me and countless others, toward a life of greater peace and purpose.